Hi, parents. It's Robin McMahon here. Thank you for listening to Parenting Our Future, which is in the top 0.5% of all podcasts worldwide. Before we dive into this episode, I want to invite you to join my membership site, the Parent Toolbox. You can join this membership for free. It's at www.parent-toolbox.com. And this is the companion site to my show, Parenting Our Future. In the Parent Toolbox, you will find game-changing tools and resources from both myself and my guest experts who are among some of the top minds in the parenting space. There are over 100 resources to help you navigate screen time, co-parenting, meltdown, teenagers, and so much more. Join today at www.parent-toolbox.com. Now back to the show. I got to just let you in on a little secret. The episode that you're about to listen to or you're about to watch is so good. I love the guests that I have, and these ladies that you're about to hear from are absolutely phenomenal, and they are doing some amazing work. I really want you to listen and really hear what they have to say, because they have the ability to change the trajectory of so many lives, and really the lives of adolescent girls. But what they're teaching are universal truths. And I am just so excited to bring you people like this to this platform, this podcast, because I believe so deeply in the work that they're doing. So let me tell you a little bit about them. And then we're just going to cut to the episode where we just start talking. So Katie, Becky, and Allie are three moms who know what it's like to raise a family with a total of 17 children between them. They're also successful businesswomen and co-founders of I Believe in Me, an online mentoring program for tween girls. The program focuses on strengthening and protecting girls in today's uncertain and often destructive social climate. With backgrounds in business, health, and beauty, Katie, Becky, and Allie are the perfect combination of skills to mentor girls during this critical time in their lives. Katie is the CEO of Singers Company, which has been building confidence in little girls through singing and dancing for over 30 years. Becky is a fitness trainer and habits coach who empowers women of all ages with systems and strategies to organize their lives. Allie is a beauty business owner who's passionate about helping girls and women look and feel confident. Their unique mentoring program, I Believe in Me, promotes self-motivation and resilience through a garden-themed approach. They guide girls as they cultivate their garden of life. And we just talk all about that metaphor and those themes. It really brings it together in such a great way. I love it. They have a program that is tested called Grow and Share. It's a living pattern that teaches life schools and habits to protect against the rapid decline of mental health and happiness in tween girls ages 10 to 13. Katie, Becky, and Allie believe in strong minds and strong hearts in strong girls can change the world. And I got to tell you, I really believe it too with what they are teaching and what they're doing. They are change makers, and I am so excited to bring you to their work and introduce you to them. So let's get to the episode. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome back to another episode of Parenting Our Future. And talk about parenting our future. I've got three amazing women on today who are parenting 17 pieces of the future.
Got lots.
That's cool. Right. I've got Katie, Becky, and Allie, and they have a mentoring program for adolescent girls that is called I Believe in Me. It promotes self-motivation and resilience through garden-themed approach, which is really cool. And we're going to talk about that. And they really guide girls through their cultivating their garden of life. So we are going to talk about all this stuff. So if you've got daughters, you want to hear this, but look, we all need to hear this, even if we've got boys. I know that, I've got nieces, I've got, lots of girls that are adolescents in my life too, even though I don't have girls. So this really is for everybody. So welcome, Katie, Becky, and Allie.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. I asked them when we first started if they were willing to have a fourth, but because I would like to.
Yes.
We would love that.
my gosh.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So as three moms, so how did this all start? Were you guys all friends before, or like what brought you together, and that what made you start this mentoring program together?
I'll take that one. This is Katie here. Uh, I had a company, and Becky was really involved in that company as well. Allie a little bit too. It was for elementary age girls. It's called Singers Company, and it was all about strengthening their confidence and the tools. It's a different business model. It's a franchise for women, and the tools that we used were singing and dancing and performing to help these girls know that their voice mattered. As these girls grew up, and parents began to trust the brand more and more, and they loved it, and the result of confidence that brought, they kept asking, are you going to do something for middle school? Or because they're so strong, these girls, and then you send them off to the middle school and it's like the den of wolves, right?
Yeah.
So I knew it couldn't be the same approach, the same program, because I knew that this age, being a mom of three girls myself, and even three boys going from elementary to teen, they need something different. They need life coaching. They need help, like tools that they can comprehend of how to set good habits, and not just habits for a new phase of life, but habits for their life. And they're a little bit more moldable at this age. So anyway, that's how it came to be. And I gathered, I don't know, Becky's always, you'll learn, she's a powerhouse mom, and Allie's a bundle of fun. And to combine all of that for these girls, just to be their cheerleader and to be a major backup support for parents.
And I think too, moms needed cheerleaders in this age group. Like we're also here to echo what moms are trying to teach their kids. Like it takes a village, especially in this world today. And we need as many good, positive voices coming at these kids, because there's so much of the opposite. So I feel like we saw these parents, coming to Katie, asking for just kind of some guidance, some support, people asking us advice on how are you raising your kids? Like, what are you teaching them? Please write a book, or please start a program, and I Believe in Me came to be. So we're here to support the moms. We're here to support the girls. Whatever we can do to combat the negative voices that they're experiencing.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it is a tough go for girls out there. And I just want to say thank you for recognizing that and helping them. And look, I was telling you earlier that I was just watching the news this morning, and they were talking about the overwhelming number of girls that go to the emergency department because they are suicidal. And thankfully it's dropped, but that is a real eye opener, and it's a cry for help, and our girls need it. And our girls are so much more susceptible to social media pressures and all that happens there. Our boys, I don't say anything as exactly black and white, but we see our boys a lot on gaming, and we see our girls a lot on social media, and it does create a lot of comparison and depression and all of that stuff. So
and isolation,
Well,
it's heartbreaking.
Isolation is so dangerous. So I wonder, Allie, if maybe you can talk about what you guys talk about are the 4 C's in life. Like, how do you create, you say it. I don't want to steal the thunder.
Yeah, no, you're great. Okay. So we have, in one of our episodes, we teach the girls about the 4 C's, and it's don't compare, don't complain, don't criticize, and don't compete. And I feel like if those are things that girls can really get a handle on, then a lot of their life would be much easier. I think as moms, if we can also do that ourselves, my gosh, and then if we set that example that we're not competing or criticizing ourselves, self-criticism, especially with the pressures of social media right now, are massive. And if our girls and our teens and our boys can see that we live by those things, then they're much more apt to follow our example. And really as moms, we set the tone. of our home. I think of our communities, of our schools, of
sure.
society itself. If we can like learn how to do that, then we're much more, we can teach. And but those are like so crucial. And I repeat those things to myself on the daily, like, okay, if I'm at a store and I'm trying something on, or if I'm on social media, or I realize I didn't get invited to a friend's birthday party, even as a 40-year-old, I'm like, okay, no, we good. I don't need to do those things to fulfill my own bucket or to be happy. I can create my own happiness by not doing those things.
And isn't it amazing that you are providing a platform for these girls where they don't have to wait till they're 40 years old, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
As we record these episodes, I'm like, I wish I would have known this.
Yes.
No
I wish,
kidding.
and I can pick out certain circumstances and situations as a middle schooler, as a young girl in high school, where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have not done X, Y, or Z. So.
And Robin, the way we describe it to these girls, like you mentioned earlier, is through a garden theme. And it helps them process it, and it helps it stick in their brain. And it's so applicable to boys and moms. So you think about these girls with their garden of life. And the first thing they need to know is like, don't compare, which when you think about a garden, we're all so different. Flowers are so different. And when you put all those flowers together with their differences, that's what makes the world beautiful. If we were all daisies, it'd look pretty, but it'd be, you understand, like standing next, like, so my family, so it's the same with moms and their families and their households. Like it's our own little garden in our home. And my garden's going to look different than your garden. And so get that comparison away, because that takes energy and thought from me doing my best in my garden. If I'm worried about her garden, her household over there, like I'm distracted. And I think distraction is it's the greatest killer of growing. And if you're not growing, your confidence is slipping. And so those 4 C's create the biggest distractions mentally, and our focus is lost. So that's why, yes, no to the 4 C's, yes to the growth.
Yeah.
Yes. And doesn't it's so, okay. I love this so much. I love it so much. So I'm just thinking about something. There is something that I read about empathy, and I think it's Thich Nhat Hanh who wrote it. And he basically is saying about a garden, if your garden doesn't grow, you don't put it down. You don't criticize it. No, you go and you cultivate the soil.
You nourish it.
Yes.
You
nourish it, right?
Yes.
So if your garden looks different than mine, how come? Maybe your soil is different. Maybe it gets more sunlight, right? So all of that stuff, right? So that your garden can grow too, but growing differently, because comparison is the thief of joy, right? So I love that sort of that's where you start with. And then what you do is soil checks. Okay. So Becky, what are soil checks?
Yes. Soil checks. Soil checks are one of our favorite tools that we teach and share at the very beginning of the program. And our soil is made up of our mind and our heart. So we teach that together, that's your soil. Those are the nutrients that you're going to plant those seeds in to help grow. And they're eternal truths. What we put into our minds and what we let our hearts be filled with are going to help us grow or wilt, right?
Yeah.
So the soil checks, it's a system that we use in our lives, that we can be in a situation and we can self-monitor and be like, okay, how are my heart and my mind feeling right now? Like, let's do a soil check. So you would ask yourself 2 questions. Is this appropriate for me, my age, and my garden? And how is my mind and my heart? How are they feeling right now? And then based on how that answer comes back to you, you need to make a decision. Do you get off that social media page? Like, are you feeling icky right now? Is this like, do you feel worse when you're getting off of that phone? Then you're doing a soil check and you need to realize, I'm going to pull that weed out of my garden. This is not helping me grow, right? Or like if these kids are in a social situation where they start to feel uncomfortable and they're realizing I shouldn't be here, or this doesn't feel right, or if girls are gossiping, and it just like, there's so many situations that will come up in life, especially as these kids start to go out into the world, into school and sports and extracurricular activities and parties with friends. that they need a system of self-monitoring. And it's the mind and the heart. That is your soil. And that is where the nutrients that we need to like make sure that we put great things into our heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So positive mindsets, like, you know, learning how to control the mind. The power of the mind is huge. Research has shown over and over the mantras, the positive thinking, the, you know, all of that. And then with our hearts, same thing. It's like, we've got to be able to check in to be like, how do I feel? It's my personal garden. I'm going to do my own soil check and make sure that it's healthy. Because soil, right? There's all different kinds of soils. You can have the rocky soil, the sandy soil, and we want nutrients. We want nutrients in our soil. So soil checks it's just like elementary tool to use all throughout the program, all throughout our lives, in our home. What's the soil checks in our homes? Like how's the soil doing in our home as a mom? You know, I know on days when I'm tired, my soil is rocky and not very good.
And
right?
pretty.
Well, and you know
Not
what
pretty.
what I love about this is, in a way, it depersonalizes it, because if you can compare it to nature, you know, our trees don't stay, or garden doesn't stay in bloom all year. There are periods of rest, right? There are periods of regrowth, right?
Exactly.
And you've got to tend the garden as well. And look, as our kids get older, the stakes get higher. So having this type of mental toughness or resilience that we're teaching our girls, our kids,
Right.
only makes them better for life. And again, I wish I had been taught this as a young woman, and I can only imagine what that would have meant for my career, for my business, for all of those disempowering things that I did, whether they're beliefs or actions like people pleasing, or, you know, those kinds of things. Like, it would
Right.
be so great to
Right.
not have that. So I really do love that. You know, so Katie, when you talk about the grow and share living pattern, what is that?
Oh, that is the meat of our garden. Like that is what builds confidence and that resilience. And that is the focus of I Believe in Me. And even as a mom, like when you are growing and sharing, and when I think of sharing as a mom, I'm thinking of really first and foremost serving my kids, you know, like every morning, like I'm up, I'm providing for their needs and helping them get out the door, hopefully in a very positive way. But that's me sharing, you know, that when I think about me as a mom, or those conversations I have with my kid, putting away the things, you know, the household things or whatever, or the business stuff, when I recognize my kid needs to talk, you know? And so for these girls, it's the same type of thing in their little world. So we tell these girls, every girl has, you are a girl with gifts to grow and share. And meaning, you're unique. You're that flower. You're this shape. You're this color. You have this fragrance. You grow this tall. That is everything that makes you beautiful and unique. And this world needs you. This world needs that. It needs your strengths. It even needs some of your weaknesses so that you can grow and for you to recognize. But find those talents that you like, that makes you you, and then grow them and cultivate them with the purpose of sharing. Not to, you know, like you think about the isolation, that is exactly the opposite. Sharing is exactly getting these girls to look outside themselves. If they're good at babysitting and good with children, start a little babysitting business. You know, if they love being outside, plant a garden, and then even make some food from that garden and share it with someone. If you're good at doodling and lettering and calligraphy, write someone a beautiful note like your teacher, share that. And in that sharing, think about that. We all know that when we do things like that for a child, for family members, even in business, for other people, as a neighbor, we feel good. Those feelings that it's sprinkling the fertilizer. It's sharing those seeds of ourselves to help the world grow in a more positive way. And that's why I love what you're about parenting the future. That's it. All these girls growing their own talents and then sharing them, that's our future. And if it's full of beauty and sunshine, I mean, and again, taking it back to the quote that you had about, it takes work in a garden. And you can't just be able to share your talents without putting in the hard work with your shovel, your gloves on, digging in that dirt. A plant might grow, like one of your talents might not grow the way it wants to. All right, try something new, or work harder and find and learn more from an expert. Like it, whatever you, anything worthwhile takes the most effort. And it's worth every part of that effort. So the grow part of that is, a lot of that is work for these girls as moms. Grow really means work, putting in that work. And then the fruit is the sharing. And then the confidence comes as moms, as girls, as boys. So
that is, I love it. And by the way, sharing and giving back is scientifically proven to make you happier.
Yes.
Totally.
It's amazing. It's amazing because even when our kids are having a bad day or something's going wrong, if we can focus not on, if they take the focus away from their problems and go serve someone else, go share their light with someone else, they're automatically lifted and elevated. And it's to share, not to, say, oh, I'm awesome, I'm good, but to share their talents in a way to make somebody else's life better that day. And then it's an automatic, it comes right back to you. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful principle.
I also think the world offers so much in destruction right now. And I feel like when we're growing, we're building something. And when you're busy building, only like positive things are going to come. And instead of the 4 C's, which can destroy and make you wilt, that growing and sharing is the action and work that brings happiness, like you said.
Well, and also what you focus on grows, right? You focus on the weeds, they'll grow. You focus on the flowers and the garden, it will grow. And so here's the thing. So I want to say too, you've each really mentioned mantras and mindset. And so you have a beautiful gift for the parent toolbox for us, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But I wanted to talk about what happens when a child is in crisis, because there are going to be girls in your program who and moms who are struggling. And I wonder if, you've experienced any struggles, if you have walked through some struggles with these girls. And first and foremost, I do want to say there's no doubt in my mind that having these soil checks and weeding your garden and all of that will absolutely create resilience. But I do wonder, how do you teach the moms to address it, and also the girls to address adversity, because it will happen. It's life, right?
We've got worms and butterflies.
We do.
Allie?
And I'll take that first, because I know we've each individually in our families have experienced that in our communities. But I'll just briefly say, when hard times come, when these worms come in our garden, as you're digging and cultivating your garden, all of a sudden a worm pops up. Those are our trials. Those are our struggles. What I've found and what we're teaching these girls is to validate their emotions, validate that this is so hard. I am so sorry you're going through this. And it's okay to have these feelings of sadness and just when hard things come, it's okay to feel that. And then we start them back with routines. One of our mantras is routines are the roots. And we say, we get back doing the little things because those are the easiest things. And when we have routines, and maybe we do become depressed because of a big trial or tragedy that happens in our lives, when we can wake up and make our bed and brush our teeth and get dressed, those are our morning routines, then our day can start to be better because we're confident in getting those little tiny tasks done. So we kind of start them, we validate them, we validate the feelings, and we know that they're not going to last forever. And then we start to put in the work, and we start with routines, the basic, the things that they don't really have to think about to kind of get them going. I know right now my 9-year-old son is dealing with self-confidence, and he's a very happy-go-lucky kid, and And I come back to all of these things that we're teaching the girls to use in my own family.
Yeah.
So, and we talk about why he's feeling those ways. And it's in his sport. It's in baseball. He thinks everyone's better than him and all the things. And then his mind, just like tumbles, right? Like a snowball.
Mm-hmm.
So we start with the little things. We start to, okay, let's get some good sleep. Let's start with those routines. Let's get up in the morning. Let's have a good breakfast so you feel good about yourself and you're not groggy and you're not tired and you're not cranky, because that will tailspin him into thinking that he can't perform at school or on the baseball field or whatever. So that's kind of one I was literally talking to him about this 2 days ago. So that's one that's on my mind right now is helping him work through these feelings of doubt in himself and self-confidence, and just know that he is individual and everyone's going to be different. And we're going to work as hard as we can on the things that you need to, so you feel like you're going to be a better baseball player. And then it will progressively, get better and better as he puts in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, it's, you're so speaking my language, because like validating is huge. Like, yeah, that hurts. That's sad. It is. It's okay to feel,
right.
It's okay to feel that way.
Oh, you should feel that way. That was hard. That's a hard thing that happened, or that's a hard thing that's happening. You should feel sad and low. It's okay. But then what? That's kind of our question, I believe, in me. So here's the worm, something unexpected that happened in your life that's throwing you for a loop. It's a comment from a friend. It's your family has to move. It's a divorce. Your parents aren't getting along. It's stuff, some things that are uncontrollable, some things that you can control, but it's a worm. What are you going to fill? And you think about a garden. Okay. What do worms do in the garden? They aerate the soil so that things can grow better. So you need worms. We all have worms as moms.
Yeah.
We need those trials. We need those hardships so so that our garden can get stronger. We know how to get through those situations. We can help others around us get through similar situations. We can be a light and lift others. And so it's all part of life. Like, I love how you always say it's not about being perfect. Worms make we're imperfect because we all have worms, but we get to choose what we fill those wormholes with. Is it going to be light and we're going to get back to our routines and keep moving? Or is it going to be darkness and we're going to give up and fall victim to the 4 C's?
And also, and I say also teaching the children, the kids and ourselves, that those worms, like Katie said, make us stronger. In the end, when you get to the end of this, it's going to be okay. It's like singing the Kelly Clarkson song, right? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. we learn, when we learn from the hardships, that's when we grow. That's when you repair yourself. You become, more resilient. Like, I can do this. The confidence comes back in. It's the lull in the mountains. It's going to happen. But if we can have that mindset of, I got this, I can do this, I can get through hard things. It's not okay right now, but someday it will be.
But what you're doing is you're showing that even the hard stuff has a gift, right?
Yes.
Even the hard stuff is important. I mean, I know that's what you're saying. And also, I'm going to cut to this, just talking about the worms that we all have as moms.
Yes.
The highlight. We're going to name the episode that. No, I'm kidding.
We love it. We love worms.
We love worms. Yes. So as we are recording this, it's Mother's Day coming up in a couple of days. Now, this is going to go out after Mother's Day, but I mean, let's be honest, we need to celebrate moms, not just
all the time.
Yes. Yeah, seriously. So what are some of the things that we need to do to nurture self-motivation and resilience? Or have we already talked about that? Like, what, when we get into sort of like the soil, the nitty gritty of it, what are some of the actions that you recommend we take as moms?
I feel like, as a mom, I think all of your viewers would agree, it is hard work. And like you mentioned earlier, the more work we put into something, that's when you see things grow. And sometimes, a lot of times as moms, your work goes unnoticed or unappreciated, or it feels that way. I think for me, what makes me most resilient is the why behind why I do what I do for my family. I'm not doing it for, even though a hug and a kiss and a thank you would be nice, I'm not doing it for that. So if that doesn't come because my son is racing out the door, he's frustrated because he's late, and I'm handing him his breakfast as he's running out the door. If he gives me a grumpy whatever, that's not to me. I know it's because he botched his routine that morning, but that I was like, that egg sandwich that he takes with him says love all over it and says work that mom put in for him. And I don't need, not that I want to teach them to say thank you, which we do, but you know what I mean? Like the motivation of the why. And so I can say like, motherhood is work, and my confidence in motherhood comes with how much work I'm willing to put in. And what does that work look like? For me, I obviously run companies. And so I'm juggling like business work and mom work all the time. But I call it the magic morning. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not a CEO. Well, I'm a CEO of my household, but I'm a mom first. And that means I do mom things first. Throw in a load of laundry, get breakfast going. I exercise because mentally, because if I'm not exercising, my mind is gone. You know what I mean? It gets weaker. So I have to be strong. So I have energy and I can focus on my family. So my little routine in the morning, it's routines are the roots. It keeps me stable. It keeps my home stable, and it's work. I don't want to get up at 5 every morning, but I know if I'm going to have a stable household and create that stability for my kids to grow, I have to, or I lose it mentally.
What I really like what you said is that you have identified your why. And therefore, that means even if you have gotten up at 5 and you've done all the things for your family and you get a grunt instead of I love you, mom, that you're not taking that personally. That is a tremendous amount of strength that takes, because it's not about you anyway, but to know that and to embody that, I think is a really important lesson. It's not about you, right? And all that is feedback. Like maybe there's something going on with your kid, but if we make it about us, then we miss the opportunity to address what's really going on with our kid. If there is something, maybe he's just tired, right?
Oh, I got a grunt from one of my middle schoolers. He's 20 now. I got a grunt every day he rode his bike off to middle school. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. His whole, like two of the 3 years, I got a grunt. But I knew it wasn't to me. I knew I monitored him and like he was great, but it didn't stop me. It never stopped me from not waking up, because I knew that he knew that I loved him because of the sacrifice of my morning. And I didn't view it as, oh, I'm so amazing, I'm doing this for you. It's the why, like you said, because I love that kid and I don't want him to ever not be able to fall back on what I'm willing to do for him, and that I was there every morning. So that's what works for me. The work of motherhood, because it's work.
It absolutely is work. And can I just say, imagine what the world would look like if every single child grew up knowing in their heart of hearts that they were valued and valuable, that they were worthy of giving and receiving love, that they knew that there was always somebody that had their back. And those somebodies are their parents, no matter what, if they've screwed up, done something bad or naughty, or they got in trouble, or they did something they weren't supposed to, whatever it is. And we were just there to say, hey, you know what? We're going to work this out together. We're going to do this together. I got you. And I don't love what you did. We all make mistakes.
But I still love you, right?
But I love you, and nothing will ever change that. And I think what you're saying, Katie, too, is that like, it's radical acceptance. Like, I don't have to love it. I don't have to like it that, look, my kid grunts at me. That's not my favorite. And I know, like, I'm confident enough in myself that I have done what I need to do to raise this kid to be an amazing person. First of all, this isn't personal. And I think we know, right? We know whether we've done the things that we, I don't want to say that we want to do to raise our kids in a way that if they're going through those teen years, which really do mean that we have to parent them slightly differently, right? We really change our roles in these adolescent years to not just teaching, but guiding and mentoring, right? But
Right.
also radically accepting that they're going through some stuff too. And we're not their top priority to please, right? Their friends are more
Right.
important, different things are more important, right? So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, and that's a tough, that like parenting will break your heart, right? And that's a
Oh,
tough
it's
decision to
the
make.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
the
hard.
hardest.
I
It's the
think
hardest.
helping them, but helping in those moments, like, I mean, I got a grunt every morning, but to help them identify their why, like, and the why behind why you want to run your household a certain way. You know, the thing, like, as you're guiding your child, that's the discussion when they have a bad behavior or something that affects everyone. He wasn't just grunting at me, he was grunting at all his siblings too. You know what I mean? And so,
Mm,
so to be able to, like, not in the moment get mad and yell, just let him
Right.
get on his way. He's got his breakfast. You did everything you could. You go start your day. He usually would come back, obviously, way better. Mornings were hard for him. But to
yeah.
be able to chat about it again later and to say, like, okay, buddy, like, it's hard on everyone when you, like, you know, and I sometimes I would even say, like, what if I was grumpy like that in the morning? What if I was like, yeah, I'm not making you breakfast. No, you know,
And right.
like what, like, what
How would
if
that
I
help?
did that? Yes. And let him answer. Like, what if I did that? What if I was grumpy and grunting at you every morning to everyone? And I wait for, like, you know, just like, so the why behind it. And I can report that this, he grew up, he's 20 years old and he's phenomenal. He
It was
is
temporary.
but he
He's
was
great.
hard. It was temporary, yes. And it was, but it was hard. He was one of my hardest emotionally and how it affected the entire family.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, you know, it's hard when you're in the moment, right? You don't know, you really can't see the forest for the trees. You know, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, like, are you going to be like this forever? And what I always say is, look, everything is temporary. It's temporary. They're just going through some stuff, and all we can do is just be there, you know, to be that safe place for them, to be grouchy sometimes, and then to help them through it, right? So here's one thing that happens a lot, though. Girls can be pretty mean to each other. So if you've got some girls, and Becky, I want to go to you for this one. If you've got girls that are in this program and they are not comparing, not complaining, not criticizing, and not competing, and that's wonderful, but then they've got some mean girls who don't have the gift of these lessons. How do you look? I think all those 4 C's are really going to help them, but you know,
Right.
your feelings get hurt. People can be mean. How do you deal with the mean girl
Right.
stuff?
Well, we teach these girls that everybody has their own agency to make their choices on, you know, how they're going to act in life, in school, in their families, and they can only control themselves. Like, they are the master gardener of their garden, and they can control what they let into their garden or not. And so we teach them the 3 strikes you're out principle. If they're having a situation with a certain friend or a certain friend group, and if there's a repeated feeling there where it's definitely negative or critical or mean, to where they're feeling like they're wilting, their confidence is being changed, their self-image is being affected, it's hurting them, then they need to be aware enough, do those soil checks to realize that, hey, you know, this has happened to me one too many times with Chloe, and I'm going to put more boundaries between me and Chloe. It's the healthy thing to do. Not that Chloe's a bad person. You know, good for Chloe. She can go live in her own little garden, but I'm not going to let her come through my gate as often. And so
awesome.
we just try to help these girls learn, because it's going to happen throughout the rest of your life that people might not be nice to you. And, you know, the first time, the second time, it's okay. Like, you forgive, you move on. But if it's happening over and over, and it's definitely affecting you at an elementary level of who you are, then it's time to say, you know what?
Yeah.
I control my garden gate, and I wish you all the best, but you're not for me. Right.
Yeah. I think that's so wise to really teach kids about that. I think that's great. And also a 40-year-old woman as well. I'll just,
Well, and the same thing,
I need a reminder all the time.
well, and we see it on social media too. I mean, we see, followers make comments on posts, which is ridiculous that they would never make in real life. I mean, that gives an anonymity, right? Or a texting or whatever. And people need to realize, guess what? If you make a comment on my page, you're out.
yeah.
3 strikes, not even 3 strikes. I mean, we just,
Who has time for that? No.
Who's got
You
time
just
for that?
did
That's what
you just did one of our main mantras.
Yeah.
And we don't have time for that.
You don't have time for that.
Yeah.
In your
love
garden, you don't have time for that. And we say like,
Yes.
if something gets thrown at you, like we call it dirt. So like a bad comment or a bit, something says like, so we personally are striving for no dirt days. It's pretty impossible, but we try every day.
We try.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if dirt gets thrown on you, you choose how long it stays. How long do you feel sorry for yourself and feel down? Is it 4 hours? Is it 4 days? Is it 4 weeks? We say 4 seconds. You don't have time for that. You don't have time for that in your garden because it's going to start to make you wilt. And I decide like how this garden is growing. Just empowering these girls that the power is in them.
It's in you.
And don't let anyone carry your happiness. You are in charge of your happiness and the sunshine. Yeah, you got it. See?
I'm feeling all.
You're
I'm
one of
feeling
us.
all.
She got it. She got it.
You got girl.
I'm auditioning to be the 4th.
You're made.
Okay, I'm going to ask one last question. And Allie, if I can ask this to you, look, one of the biggest things that I know our adolescents, our teens struggle with is fitting in, especially girls, right? Like it can be really tough out there. So how do we talk to them about fitting in without them doing those people pleasing or, buying friends or like I did that. I wanted to fit in so bad. I felt like a fish out of water a lot growing up. I don't think I really, it's not about me, but I just want to say I can identify with it so much. And so what do you guys do? What do you say?
I think from the get-go, we have to teach them, and we teach these girls, we teach our kids as moms, that you have your own beauty and you don't need to conform to anybody else. And that is their opinion of what they think is cool or cute or pretty or whatever. And you be confident in who you are, and you don't need to change for anyone. And it's hard. It is something that you'll go through as a middle schooler, as a high schooler. You want to fit in, you want to be invited to the parties, you want to be invited to this, the birthday parties, or the trips or things, even as moms. And then we teach them, okay, so you didn't get invited to Susie's 12th birthday party. Why don't you go get a couple of girls on your own? Why don't you guys go have a movie night? We give them alternatives and other things, so they're not sitting at home sad in their room listening to sad music, crying because they didn't get invited to Susie's party. Because I think we've all done that, right? I have.
100%.
I have.
Right.
So we teach them, okay, that's okay. You don't have to be invited. And I think it's so important for moms. You don't have to be invited to every park day or to every dinner thing or lunch date. You go make your own. You create, you work, and you make your own. And that will give them a sense of confidence. And then all of a sudden they're having a movie night with their 3 other girls who didn't get invited to Susie's birthday party. And then they forget about all that sadness and being left out, because they're having their own fun and they're creating moments of their own without relying on somebody else's decisions to make or actions to make them happy. If they can learn, and it's work, it's something over and over again. If they can realize that it's not up to somebody else to make them happy or to make them feel good or bad about, they're in charge of that. It is their responsibility as the master gardener to know what comes in and out of that garden, how that makes them feel.
And make sure on your little movie night with your 3 friends that you're not talking about everyone at Susie's party.
Yes.
Or else you fall into the trap of, so like you have to know how to steer yourself in happy sunlight for your garden. And don't let those shadows come in. Don't let that,
Right.
and don't create
Right.
those shadows. So yes, that's awesome.
We
love these
that
girls.
is definitely a life lesson. And what you guys talk about, in everything that you've said so far is really universal truths, right? And that just carries you from this moment all the way through your life. It's just phenomenal. I absolutely love your program. I believe in me. So where do people find you? How do they be a part of your program? Tell us all the things. Tell us all the things.
You can head to, if you go to bloomfully.com, you're going to see Singers Camping, that the younger group, but I Believe in Me is there. So click on I Believe in Me, and then it gives you all the information of how the program works. It's a membership program. So girls will have their own private login. It's very safe. All the videos are right on their private little site. So they're not going to be getting any outside sources suggesting anything. So they go in and they watch they can watch these little episodes, planting the seeds every week, which talk about a lot about what we just talked. We have a soil checks. We've got the Be the Sunshine. We've got the worms and butterflies, all of that meat of backup for parents, all the things you want them to hear of how to cope with life and start out their life in middle school and in this age. That's what we're doing. We're backing you up, parents.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple other little sections, but that's the main part. And so bloomfully.com, click I Believe in Me, and then you can learn all about how it works and the different membership options. And you can message in if you have questions. But we love these girls. We're there for them. We're there for any moms. I mean, we want, this world is brighter because of the light and the gifts that these girls have and share. And we want to be their big cheerleaders and help parents help them.
Right. And such beautiful metaphors in everything that you're talking about, every different shape, size, and color. I mean, what a beautiful message. I absolutely love it. And Becky, can you just talk about the so what we've got in the Parent Toolbox? So you've got to join the Parent Toolbox, everybody, because there are free resources from amazing guests like you guys. And it's completely free and it's updated every week. And so this week, what you're getting is a printable PDF of a daily routine builder, which we talked about being a foundation and a go back to when things go off, with gratitude prompts and mantras.
Yes.
So can you talk
yes, we are so excited to be able to offer these to your listeners and to these girls to help them establish that routine, even though, people might think, I don't have a morning routine, but you actually do. Everybody has a routine. And the only way that you can improve upon that routine is kind of tracking it and writing it down. So we really do believe in getting out a piece of paper, writing down your routine, and then plugging in parts that would make that routine, stronger and, better focused on what you want to accomplish, the kind of person you want to grow to be. Let's make that routine full of things that make sense so that you can be who you want to be on a daily basis. Like, let's focus down on the daily, everything we do. And then our mantra cards are meant for these girls to cut up and put on the mirror, put next to the toilet, put in your car, like
in your folders at school, in your locker.
Yes, on the fridge, anywhere. Because when you see something and you read that and it comes into your mind, that is one of the mindset tools to help nourish that soil, right? So that can help you get back on track. Like if you're having a bad day and you see that little reminder, no comparing, no competing, no complaining and no criticizing, or I can grow and share, or I'm a hard worker, I'm a strong girl, I got this. Any of those little tiny moments of reading that card will replace a negative thought, right? We can't just say, I'm not going to be thinking negative thoughts. We've got to replace them with something positive. Those cards will just hopefully bring in a little bit of that positive, drops of water into their brain.
Well, and really what you're doing is programming their subconscious mind. So, which is driving the bus most of the time and creating those pathways.
Yes.
So that when stuff happens, you default to the positive.
Yes.
Programmed versus the negative, which our brains are tilted towards the negative. Unfortunately,
right.
We can reprogram that too. All science. All
Yes.
science,
It is.
scientifically proven.
Yes.
And so you guys
But
know that, and that's huge.
It takes practice though, right?
Oh,
It takes
does.
practice. So that's why on the daily basis, your routine, all of these things, just to focus down on the small. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be big. We want to start with the basics, just positive doings and positive thinking, right?
Well, think about when you've done your routine in the morning personally as a mom person, and then your kids have done their routines. Your house is happier. Your house is more peaceful. Routines are huge. And I don't think, and you think, what, make your bed? Something goes bad in your life and go make your bed. And it's like, no, but really it keeps you moving. Like if, you come back to a made bed, you still have that sense of, okay, I got this. It's a time and a season. This, things come and go. This is going to get better, but we're going to keep moving forward. And one of our favorite mantras is turn worry into work. So when you're worried about something, when you're worried about, like turn worry into work. So all of these are I'm like, I want to go print out that PDF and put it all over my house.
I'm looking
so
at the
cute.
cutest one right now that says there's no such thing as failure. Try and try some more. And there's little s'mores.
Yes. That was a fun episode.
Super cute. They're super cute. Did you want to add something, Becky?
Oh, I was just going to say an important thing too with those routines is to, as you are accomplishing those routines, to tell yourself, I'm awesome. Look at me. I made my bed. I'm the kind of person that makes my bed in the morning. Look at me. I'm the kind of person that brushes my teeth. Look at me. I'm the kind of person that I finished my homework and it's in my backpack. So those little tiny habits that you're creating and those routines, you've got to self-congratulate. You've got to, tell yourself, look at me. I am doing a great job. I've got this. Because that, again, creates the neural pathways to want to do it tomorrow, to want to do it the next. And when the hard times come, you can feel good about yourself on a very basic level, just to do these things. And you know what? I had a really hard day yesterday, but look, my room is clean. I'm awesome.
Okay.
Right? So we
that's
celebrate.
One of the cards that I got this.
I got this.
I got this.
Like this should just be, you should just hold it all day long. All day long.
I got
this.
I
love it. And we all need it. We all need those.
And especially as moms, we need we need to be our own little children, being like, you know what, you guys, it's not perfect, but guess what? It's better. It's better than it was. Progress. I'm making progress. I'm a good mom. I got this. It's like, there's no such thing as perfection, but we can grow in motherhood. We can share our love. We can share our talents and just keep trying. Try some more. Right.
Yes. And I love what you said, Robin, about how just remembering that our brain just scientifically, like we do an episode about Dr. Amen about automatic negative thoughts. Right. And so it's like, take the load off. It's not you. It's just the way the brain works. So when that comparison comes in and that negative thought comes in, you just wash it away with the water in your garden and keep growing, keep going, keep growing.
Yeah. You don't need to take that thought. It's just a thought. It's not fact.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
let
true.
it go.
Yeah.
And it's automatic. It's not you. It's just what happens in human brains. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we've been talking for about an hour total, and I can't imagine how more sparkly and enthusiastic my life would be having you guys in my life every week. So if that's any indication of how good your program is, you guys are incredible. You are fun and funny. And I Believe in Me on Facebook, at I Believe in Me Girls on Instagram, Lumify.com/I Believe in Me, Parent Toolbox for these awesome mantras and daily routines. And you really are grounded in routines. I love that. And plus you get a boost of accomplishment and intrinsic motivation when you do those little things that are simple, like brushing your teeth, making your bed. It does feel good to go back into a room that's clean and orderly and all that stuff, right? Because it means our mind is clear as well. Everything you guys have talked about is so wonderful. You are a gift to this world, ladies. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope everybody loves this conversation as much as I have. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So welcome.
Well, thank you, Robin. We appreciate coming on and just sharing this space with you. It's all about these women and these girls,
And I love thinking about your listeners, about the true magic that's growing this world into a better place are the mothers. And we all know it. We all feel it.
Yep.
It's in our hearts. It's in our soil. When you have the soil of a mother, you have a special nutrients that can understand and see a little bit more of what the world offers versus what a mother can offer. And I just think of these, I'm like, go moms, go.
We
Keep
got
growing,
this.
Keep
We
going.
got this.
We
This
can do
world is
it.
better because of you. We need you more than ever. Moms unite. Like, yes.
Okay, that's why everybody needs to follow you guys too. Everybody needs
Oh,
to,
yes.
because like we need to get a dose of this every single day. It's amazing.
Yes, we would love it. But
And
we
it's
love these
contagious.
moms.
It's so contagious.
It
It's like, I
is.
want to do good. You want to do good. We're all going to do good. And then all the problems in the world stop. Because we're all
Yeah.
gonna do
It's true. They
But
do.
wait, worms can't go away forever. We need a little bit of worms.
That's
But
true.
anyway,
But
I
worms
just
bring
love
gifts.
Yeah,
these
that's right, they
moms.
do.
Moms are magic. Moms are magic, and we need them more than ever. Strong moms.
And we
Yep.
need to stop doubting ourselves as moms.
Yes. Let's say we
Yes.
believe in moms. We believe in me. We believe in moms.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
Yes, we do.
I love you guys. You're
And
amazing.
moms have to believe in themselves. So it's like, that's why it's just like, we just want to.
We want to
Keep
back
cheering
up the
them on.
moms. We want
Yes.
to help the moms.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
moms, you got this. You have the power.
Got this.
And if you can't feel it, like I feel it. I feel what you're saying. And we can't even get off this episode because
Let's keep going.
we're stop now. Thank you again. You guys are amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this edition of my podcast, Parenting Our Future. I'm parent coach Robin McMahon, and if you're enjoying this podcast, please share it with someone who you think might also need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you like my work, I would be grateful if you gave me a 5-star rating. For those of you who like my content and want more, visit me at yellingcurebook.com to get your copy of my book and to find other resources to help you. Until next time, I am wishing you and your family peace and connection.